Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Okunlola Academy once again. We want to thank you for subscribing to our channel and liking our videos. Please, we also want to plead to please like this video, subscribe to this channel, and please share them. Today, we are going to be looking at literature review, and we have lined up as subheadings as usual. First and foremost, we are going to be looking at understanding literature review. Thereafter, we'll look at essential tidbits on literature review. Of course, after that, we'll go through how to smartly review literature. And after that, we'll be looking at some literature review subthemes. And of course, we're going to raise some suggestive literature review tones. Now, going forward, understanding literature review. Now, what we simply mean by that is that literature review means reading what people have done relating to your study. Two is that while you're reading, you are reviewing, meaning that you are identifying concepts and you are jotting one or two things down in relation to your understanding of your reading. Going forward, we say that understanding literature review is also getting understanding of what has been done in the chosen area of research interest. Now, having said that, we can say that literature review is simply reviewing in order to get understanding of what has been done in the chosen area of research interest. Now, whether we are writing a thesis or we are simply writing a paper article for journal publication, there are basic reasons why we must review literature. Now, first and foremost, one of the reasons is that you want to establish and compare fact and of course compare truth. Why you're doing that, when you're establishing fact and you're comparing truth, we are simply setting a direction about a state of an event or phenomenon that is relating to the study or the research you are carrying out. Now, having said that, another reason is that by the time you establish and compare fact, we set your direction, you would have identified gaps in the literature that need improvement or adjustment as the case may be. Now, so basically, some of the reasons that we have to read literature or understand literature is that you want to compare what has been done in the past and you want to be able to identify what needs to be done as improvement, adjustment, which is what is known as the gap or gaps in the literature. Now, what are the essential tidbits on literature review? By this, we mean that what are those things that you need to equip yourself with while you are set, to start your project or your paper as the case may be. Now, going forward, it is most important that you equip yourself with relevant literature relating to that topic. You must ensure that, the literature that you're reviewing are not only current, but of course they are relevant to the study. And secondly, you need to be sure that the literature you are reviewing are not completely in the past. By this, we mean that they are not completely old literature as the case may be. Now, the point here is that while you try to review literature and essentially to kickstart your own writing, it is completely not out of place for you to review literature that has been done in the past. For instance, it could be literature that set the foundation of your study, and such literature may have been written perhaps 30, 40, 50 years back. So you can start your introduction or perhaps your foundation of your literature review from where it all started in the past, but ensure that you do not completely, let all your literature dwell in the past. It should be a mixture of where it all started and what is currently going on, as the case may be in your chosen area of interest. And in doing that, you could also have a classical arrangement of your literature review by ensuring that you assess your literature based on global event, regional event, or national event, and as the case may be, on yearly event. With this will be able to assist you in the sense that you have understanding of the literature you're reviewing from the global perspective, the regional perspective, and of course on the national perspective. It is even essential that your review of literature is done from these three main stages, such that you synthesize your reading based on the global phenomenon down to your national phenomenon, as the case may be. Now, going forward, how do we smartly review literature? You recall that when you're trying to either write your thesis or even your research paper for publication, you get to download and review as many literature as possible. And reading the entire literature sometimes could be mind-boggling, could take time, and the case may be there are other issues that could distract your full concentration. However, there's a smart way to actually review literature such that you equip yourself with full understanding of what each and every material or literature that you have downloaded is talking about. Typically, you agree that whether it is a thesis or a research paper for journal publication, formats are often used as the main heading of either of the two, whereas you have the introduction, you have the literature review, you have the methodology, result and analysis, and of course you have the conclusion and recommendation, as the case may be. Now here, the most useful part that could give you a smart review and insight of any of the paper you must have downloaded for review is the abstract. Now you recall that the abstract is a short synopsis that detail a concise information about the subject area of the paper that you have downloaded. Also recall that abstract contains oftentimes the introduction, contains of course the introduction, but it also tells you about the topic. It tells you, abstract tells you about the objective to be achieved or that has been achieved in the study. It tells you about the source of material that is used, or source of data that is used in the study. It also tells you the methodology that is used. Oftentimes you find abstract telling you about the dependent and independent variable of the study. It tells you of the analysis techniques and the findings or the results of the study. It gives you the conclusion and of course the recommendation of the study. So in order to save time and to smartly review series of literature that you must have downloaded, an abstract will give you just about the good point that you need to quickly achieve these set targets. So going forward, if you have to read several literature, the easiest way and the smartest way to go about it is to go through the abstract. So because it tells you concise details, or concise, gives you concise information about the materials that you are downloaded, as the case may be. Now going forward, some literature reviews sub-themes or subheadings or content, as the case may be. Now, a typical thesis or a research paper, you agree with me, has sub-themes under the literature review, which, as the case may be, a thesis will expect an expansion of such sub-theme, while in most cases, a journal outlet, a journal article will prefer a synthesis or a condensed of such sub-themes, as the case may be. But having said that, whether it is a thesis or a paper publication, you often find a conceptual review under literature review sub-theme. Of course, you also find theoretical review reviews the theory, as the case may be, and of course you find an empirical review, of course, as the case may be. Please, a separate tutorial will be created for this going forward. This is just for us to get the understanding of what literature review looks like. And having said that, there's often a third sub-theme that details a synthesis of what constitutes the conceptual, theoretical, and empirical review, as the case may be. And of course, there's what we call the conceptual framework, which details oftentimes in a diagram form, as the case may be, where it tells you about the direction of the relationship subsisting between your variables that are used in the study, as the case may be. Now, going forward, we have suggestive literature review tone, which ordinarily set the direction to which your study is being examined. What this means is that by the time a study is picked and the literature is being read, by doing so, the reader ordinarily has the understanding that you are supporting or collaborating a study, as the case may be. In that wise, you are giving a supportive or collaborative tone, as the case may be. In some other instances, it could be an argumentative or debate kind of tone, which tells your reader that you are debating or you are arguing based on an existing review of literature you have done. There's also a discussion tone, whereby the direction is set that you're only discussing a particular event or a phenomenon. It could also be an explanation tone or an exploratory tone. You could also have what is called the critique tone, which immediately tells your reader that you are criticizing a particular event or phenomenon in the literature review, as the case may be. And of course, we could also be a reviewing tone, as the case may be. We hope we've been able to demystify your understanding of what constitutes literature review, both in a thesis form and of course in an article paper written form, as the case may be. Once again, please subscribe to Okunlola Academy, like our videos, share them, and please leave your comment. Thank you.